All right, so now we're doing the third of the transformations. Now we're on rotations, we're on 3.1. And then what we need this time, again, look at what you've got. You've got a little bit of new vocabulary, which is the center of rotation and the angle of rotation. Now we need protractors, okay? So what you're going to do is, first and foremost, you've been given a diagram, and then it will tell you a point, which will be the center of rotation. In this case, it's this diagram here, okay? And then what you've got to do is join line A to the line K, as you can see in step 1, okay? And then you've got to use your protractor to measure the 140 degrees. And then draw a construction line 140 degrees, but make sure that you extend it long enough to know that the distance between A and K must also be the same distance between K and A dash, because don't forget, everything has to be congruent in their segment form, all right? So once you've drawn it, which is using the compass, the next thing is to measure it to make sure that you are congruent, and then complete it by doing all the other sections, all the other angles. Okay, so let's have a look at example 1. Now we're looking at question number 1, all right? It says copy each polygon and point K, then use a protractor and ruler to draw the specific rotation of each figure about the point K. So K is the center of rotation, okay? And again, the first thing to look for, if there is nothing in the statement, you always go counterclockwise. So start thinking about your shape is going to go in that direction, all right? And we're going to go 45 degrees. All right, so first and foremost, what do? We draw up this line, remember, that was the first thing. Do a construction line through there using your ruler. The second thing is then, here's point K. So you need your protractor on here, all right, let's say that's 90 degrees, so 45 degrees will be there. And again, what we're doing, you're going to be using a proper protractor, so you'll be a lot more accurate than I am. And then the distances, whatever that distance is, must be the same distance there. So G dash is going to go approximately there. Okay, it looks a bit complicated, but it isn't. But eventually what you're going to do is you're going to start rotating things down. So F, 45 degrees is going to go down here. So F dash is going to go here. And H, again, is going to be slightly up and across. So H dash is going to go there. And then again, all you have to do is use your ruler to join up your points. Again, I'm trying to do mine freehand, but you should be able to do it using a protractor and your ruler. Okay, so now we've rotated it 45 degrees counterclockwise, okay? Now number 2, even though it's inside, don't worry about it. Join the lines, rotate it, in this case 120 degrees. Okay, and again now what we're doing, here's the key concepts. We're doing rotations about the origin this time. And again, I brought the key concepts over with you so you know what's happening with your X's and Y coordinates. Okay, so remember these from 1.7. So again, same thing as what you did last time. It's talking about a 90-degree rotation. We are going counterclockwise, so again, we're going in that direction. So if it's in quadrant 1, which the blue one is, you're going to move it to quadrant 2. So first and foremost, and don't forget, number 1 is always write down your given coordinates. Okay, what we're doing with these, we're interchanging because it's 90 degrees. Your Y becomes your X becomes your Y. But your Y that becomes X becomes the inverse of the sign. So this is your column number 2. And then eventually when you've done all that, you plot it. Okay. So let's have a look at that same example now. Again, let's make sure we've got things down. So D, we know is -2, 6. Okay, F is going to be 2, 8. And G is going to be 2, 3. We're not going to graph it yet. We're going to do the coordinates first. All right, don't forget, 180 degrees, you've got -x and -y. In other words, the signs change, but the coordinates stay in the same position. So D dash is going to be 2, negative 6. F dash is going to be negative 2, negative 8. And then G dash is going to be negative 2, negative 3. All right, now we're in the position to plot it. All right, I'm just doing mine very quickly freehand. But negative 2, 6 is going to be approximately here, so D is going to go there. 2, 8 is going to go over here, so there's F. And 2, 3 is going to go over here, so that's going to be G. All right, don't forget to join it up. All right, so there's my original one. Then what do I need to do? I need to change it. So D dash goes to 2, but negative 6. So 2, negative 6 is going to go down here, so that's D dash. F dash is going to be negative 2, negative 8. So we're going to go a little bit further down here, so that's F dash. And G dash is going to be negative 2, negative 3, so we're going to be down here, so there's where G dash is. And again, join up your points, and again, that's what your graph should look like if you do it more accurately than I just did. But anyway, that's good enough. All right. Okay, so what do we do when we are rotating about a point that's not the origin, 0, 0? Okay, so what you've got to do in basically terms, you're combining two transformations. You're actually doing a glide and then you're doing a rotation. Okay, so let's have a look at the first thing you have to do. First and foremost, your point is negative 5, 3, and that eventually becomes your vector, your transformation vector. Okay, so you take your original points that you were given and you do the translation first. Okay, so once you've done that, now you've got to rotate it about 180 degrees. So you start with these coordinates here and you bring them down to the front, so they become the front, and you reflect them about the origin. And don't forget that's negative 0, negative x, negative y. In other words, you transform the signs. Okay, and then this time now you've got another set of vectors, another set of coordinates, and you bring those coordinates down again and you do the translation vector on those two. Okay, so in other words, what we're trying to do is get you back to the origin. That's what the idea of the vectors are. So extra steps this time, but it's not too difficult. You should be all right with them. Okay, so let's have a look at number 4. This time we're doing it 90 degrees and the point is 1, 1. So 1, 1 is your vector, and 90 degrees, if you remember rightly, becomes negative yx. So start quoting things that you know you've got to be using. All right, so to start off with, you're going to have A is 3, 2. Okay, your B is going to be 5, 1. And your C is going to be 3, negative 1. All right, now we need to do the translation vector of 1, 1. We're not doing anything else just yet. So we're still on A, and that's going to go to 4, 3. B is going to go to 6, 2. And C is going to go to 4, 0. Okay, so there's the translation vector. So we've done that part. All right, the next part we need to do is, so we've done the 1, 1, now we've got to do the 90 degree. Okay, so now let's have a look at A dash. A dash, we've got to change them around and put a negative in front of the first one. So now we're at negative 3, 4. Okay, B dash is going to be negative 2, 6. And C dash is going to be 0, 4. Okay, so now what we've got to do, we've got to do the translation again. So we've still got to do our 1, 1 translation. Okay, so A dash now is going to go to, we're going to add 1 to both, so negative 2, 5. Okay, B dash is going to be negative 1, 7. And C dash is going to be 1, 5. Okay, and then which ones do you plot? These two guys. Okay, so they're the two that you have to plot. So we've done plotting. I'll let you do that one yourself.